And a very warm welcome to you all to today's edition of Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you as always from our micro streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. Should there be an interruption to our transmitted broadcast today for whatever reason, please go onto our website, which is www.StudioKerkyra.com, or the video platform that is Vimeo.com, or else good old YouTube, and now Twitter and Twitter's Periscope. And I'm, as always, very pleased to say that we have the help and assistance of our wonderful producer, Claire Haas, who will be answering all those comments from you on Facebook Live Messenger and taking those elusive calls on Skype. And, of course, no broadcast would be complete without the irredoubtable, irrepressible, the one and only Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas.
Hi, Adrian. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching again here on another beautiful day here on Corfu. It's unbelievable. It's great.
Yes, it is. It's sunny, blue skies, and 24 degrees Celsius, just in case you want to know.
Yeah, and the forecasts are going hot over the next week. They say up to 40 is with the heat wave in direction Crete. So it's going to be interesting.
I didn't know that. We're in for a heat wave. Lovely. I saw it was due to be 26 a bit later on. Oh, can I say before we forget, all of us here at StudioKerkyra are wishing our lovely viewer and friend and contributor, Melita, a very happy birthday to you. Have a special day, Melita, from us all with love.
Yes, happy birthday to you, Melita. Have a fantastic day. And it's again, man, a lot of people logging on. Thanks for logging on. Thanks for watching. It's great. The messages coming in already. And here is Cassie Duckworth is saying, hi from sunny Rhoda. Stay safe and take care. Sally and Norse is saying, hi, but hi to Claire. That's great. Hi, Sally. Nice to see you. Anthony is saying, hello, Thomas, Adrian, and Claire. Margaret Johnson is checking in and saying, hello, everybody. Yes, and so goes Carlos Rizzo is here. Hi, Carlos. Thanks for watching. Lorraine Smith is saying, hi, folks. Been walking about our flat like Sherlock Holmes, keeping alert. Hope everybody well and keeping safe.
That sounds good. Have you got Dr. Watson in tow by chance there? Hope you get the solution to your conundrum, if indeed you have one to solve.
Yeah, and hello from Christopher Dabener. Hi from Variabadades. And Nikos Lubros is joining us in and saying, happy birthday to Melita. Many happy returns. And Steve Bowers is saying, hi from cold Manchester.
Oh, Steve, that's a shame. Well, we're trying to bring a bit of warmth your way for our favourite viewers in Manchester. I shouldn't say that because everyone in Manchester is our favourite viewer, but Steve and Sue, you're great contributors, so I hope you have a lovely day. And a very warm welcome to all of our other wonderful friends. Do you know, you're so wonderful, all you wonderful viewers and listeners, that you're actually, as I said yesterday, we feel that you're part of our extended family. Don't we, Thomas?
Definitely. And you know what? Without you, we couldn't do most of the show. It's so fantastic. You guys taking part so brilliantly and sending us constant information, what are very valuable for us to put that whole thing together, what makes the whole thing easier for us, what we're doing. And I thank you so much for that. But I said yesterday, we have a couple of shout-outs. So
yes,
I forgot a couple of shouts out yesterday. So let's keep up. No, Steve Bryan is saying hello to everybody in Agios Gordis.
Lovely
that's
place,
a place I can't wait to go there again.
It's such a fabulous family holiday resort. It's almost a picture postcard seaside resort. It really is. In fact, Thomas, actually it was one of the first seaside resorts on this magical island of Corfu that I first visited way back in 2006.
So that's the first thing you saw on the seaside resort when you came?
Benitez was the first place I saw in the dawn, but the first seaside resort other than Benitez was Agios Gordis, and it's a lovely place with lots of lovely eateries, you'll be pleased to know.
I know.
Chock-a-block down that main road, isn't it?
And beautiful, it's great. Coordinated there, and I love the beach, and especially when I can see over to the Pentati Rock. The view is unbelievable. Sunsets from there are superb.
Everything is superb in Agios Gordis. There's a very good shop there on the corner. It almost sells everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Alex's Supermarket, I think.
I think so, yeah. Great guy, funny guy. Makes me laugh every time.
Absolutely.
And Jerry O'D is writing in. Shout out from him, the Village Taverna and Rose Garden in Moretica. Love to eat there. This place is beautiful. I know what he means. So the Rose Garden. Hello, guys. I hope they can open soon. Okay, under restrictions, but they are fantastic.
I have never had the pleasure yet, but maybe we can meet up with Steve and buy him a drink there one day. You never know.
Yeah, and
he can show us the ropes.
Yeah, definitely. And here, and he says, and not to forget the Fisherman's Haunt and Nikos in Bukhari.
Now the Fisherman's Haunt, we know, we wined and dined there courtesy of RTL a couple of years back. I had a very nice chicken souvlaki. Nikos at Bukhari, is that the same as that lovely Bukhari Taverna on the seafront there? Or is that another taverna there?
The what? Come again?
He mentioned about Nico.
That's the taverna where we sat and speak. What I got the fabulous hotel there too,
Oh,
and
yes,
a couple
yes.
of apartments.
Right.
That's where we filmed with RTL.
That's what I thought.
I think 2 years ago.
Great food.
Great food.
And you know that place is absolutely special. It's got a magic to it because you can literally dine right by the water's edge. In fact, you could almost dangle your feet in, couldn't you, while you're eating?
Well,
it's
brilliant.
Place.
And there's so many of these tavernas scattered along this coastline. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. But guys, that's for the shout-outs. I don't know if you got any shout-outs going on.
Well, I haven't got my
thanks. And I want to say to Anthony van der Kraan, he says, hello, Thomas, Adrian,
Hi,
and Claire.
Anthony. Always good to have you on
nice
board.
to see. And I got your picture from yesterday about your booking. I'm going to show that later on.
Yes. Well, a shout out to Steve Stoolsy McCabe, who was a DJ, I do believe. I think. Maybe I got that wrong. No. But he's mentioning about golf at Ermones.
Yes.
And he's saying, quote, it's one of Corfu's top attractions for sport. And he also suggested, Thomas, this is rather interesting, that you and I and Claire, all the crew at StudioKerkyra, should do an infomercial. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, I think we should do a location live stream from there and show people the beauties. And that's what we're going to start very, very soon, because we allowed this media organization to start moving from the 18th of May, and that's not far off now. So we start preparing already for this thing, and we can't wait to show you some fantastic locations from this island while we're chatting with you and keep you up to date.
Absolutely. Just a couple of points our viewers raised at the end of yesterday's programme. First off, David Roseman was pointing out about the tragic death of a child a few years back in the hotel.
Yeah.
It really was a tragedy. And I can tell you, David, that I knew one of the people who, I can't say, I will be careful what I say now, but I knew someone who was associated not with the death and the tragedy, but with the hotel itself where this happened. And I can honestly tell you that the people involved were absolutely heartbroken, and it took them a long time to get over that. It really did. So it was a dreadful move. But I think it spurred the island into really honing in on the importance of smoke detectors and, more importantly, perhaps carbon monoxide, because that is a silent killer. You can't see it. You can't even smell it, really, can you? But it can kill you, and it's a real bad thing. So I think since that tragedy, hotels and all levels of accommodation here on this island are much more adept to that now.
Definitely. Let me say hello to Richard Zebedee. He's watching. Said, hi, guys. Hope you're doing well. Yes, thanks.
Hi,
That's
Richard.
Great. Then a big hello from Xenia. Hi, Xenia. Thanks for watching. And
Hi,
goes on. Sarah Roseman is watching. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And Melita is writing in. Spoke to my son today in Thailand. They have unusual extreme hot temperatures in the last few weeks and today. But today, not a single new case reported. So hope your high temperatures will kill the virus off. That could be a possibility. Thank you, Melita.
Absolutely. And that was, many of the scientists thought that at the beginning of this wretched pandemic, that in the summer months it would take a dip, but we must be on our guard for it, returning with a vengeance in the end. You mentioned you have a son out in Thailand. What a lovely place to be. And of course, Thailand's been really ravaged by the lack of tourism. Terrible. But we ran a story a few weeks ago on Lockdown SK about the elephants. I wonder if there's any news about the elephants. They were very worried because there were no tourists that the elephants were going to go hungry. So perhaps Melita might know. And also, Melita, on behalf of all us at StudioKerkyra, can we wish you luck in your lottery attempts? I know that you mentioned you're participating in the lottery with the hopeful to be able to get a private jet, and I'm sure you would jet all your friends to this beautiful island if you could. Well, let's hope you win, Melita. The other thing is, Thomas, can I just refer to Teresa Taberner's point? The comment came in just after we'd finished broadcasting, I think. So sorry about that, Teresa. You made a good, valid point that hoteliers weren't be too keen on what we were talking about yesterday. No, I take your point. You're absolutely right. For them, it's a financial disaster and they don't want to go out of business. But we were balancing that with everybody's health. One point I would say is that maybe there should be pressure put on the EU for some sort of compensation package. If other industries are receiving compensation, why not the hotel and accommodation industry?
Exactly.
And I think there is some mileage in that, Teresa. So let's see if we can collaborate on that one and come up with some financial aid package, because everybody's having furloughs. I'm sure, I don't know how that pans out with the hotel owner or proprietor or indeed the taverna, but they certainly need some additional support to make up for the terrible loss of business.
Exactly, and that's what we meant. But the last time when we spoke about that, there must be something in place. They for sure are talking about it, and they for sure looking for solutions to get over that problem. What is a big problem? Of course, it's a big problem, and that's the eagerness from them to open up for tourism, to soften that blow a little bit. I think they can't soften that completely, but I think they can.
They need something, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, there is a call here. And, of course, in the United Kingdom, there's a call for an increase in nurses' pay as well, and all the frontline and key workers.
Yeah, definitely. Let me say here, Stephen Raymond is writing in and saying, can you stop talking about the weather? It's bloody cold here in England.
We won't say another word. Our lips are sealed. So.
Great show, guys. Keep up the good work. Keep safe. Thank you very much for that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Having a bit of wardrobe trouble today. Do excuse me. And if in case you're wondering if I'm having a bad hair day, I shouldn't be, because I've just washed the blighter. I don't know. It's one of those days. You know how it is. But every day on Corfu is just a pure joy and privilege and pleasure to be here.
To be here, in paradise.
In paradise, absolutely.
And here is, Sally Roberts is saying, hi guys, and Claire, hi to you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for logging in. Thanks for tuning in. If you have anything to say, if you want to comment anything we just talking about, feel free and send us a comment. I can see the comments live and we can talk about it. So we would love to know what you think about certain points we talk. And this is again today.
Absolutely.
Also, you can write us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. Nearly forgot that one. But you know, it's again, we have a full packed show here.
Yes, we have too many items to run in the short time that we're given, unfortunately, but we'll try and do our best. One point I'd like to pick up on from a couple of days ago, a viewer in wonderful Worcestershire, David Griffiths, was mentioning or asking about the 10,000 flights into the UK, or I can't remember if it's flights or people. The answer, I think, is, as you could expect, fruit and vegetable pickers. I heard a story the other day about a Lithuanian who got a job on a asparagus farm, would you believe, down in the beautiful Ross-on-Wye in Herefordshire. I didn't actually know they grew asparagus down there, but apparently I knew about Bridgnorth in Shropshire, but I didn't know about Ross-on-Wye. But he's saying that there's just not enough people and they just can't cope, because it's not just pickers, it's packers and drivers of forklift trucks and all the rest of it. So there's still this urgent need in the United Kingdom for fruit and vegetable pickers and packers, and also it's just
I don't know. It's crazy when you think about it.
Because they still need 80,000 posts are available, and what they were trying to skew were for students, sixth form college students and university students to go along and pick. And I don't know. They did a big shout out for those. I don't know what the take up has been so far.
Yeah, I have no idea either. It's all confusing, and this thing that we still try to make sense of most of these things. Let me go over here and say quickly, Wayne Bennett is saying, don't rub it in, isolating in cloudy England. So we try not to, but we're excited. It's great, and summer is coming. You see some movements out there, and this gives you a little bit of a positive boost.
It does. The sunshine is great.
The sunshine is great. You see business is getting ready, and everything seems to be okay. It's a new normal, as they say, but everything seems to get really sorted and prepared for the season. I think this keeps everybody going. The possibility we really could have nice June, July, August season, September, October.
Yeah, absolutely. The EU still hasn't finalised its arrangements. They're certainly negotiating like stink behind the scenes. A few things have emerged about tourism and airline travel and all the rest of it. There's this notion of corridors, Thomas. We've got here, I'll tell you, we've got Austria is going to open its borders to safe countries, according to President Kurz, and he means Germany and the Czech Republic. There's a bit of a Baltic bubble, would you believe, going on from the 15th of May between Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia. So travel between those countries should be no problem. Greece is saying that if aren't proper arrangements finalised by the EU, they're going to go it alone, and they're going to create their own corridor, which will involve Greece, Cyprus, Israel, that's interesting, isn't it? Germany, Austria, and possibly Bulgaria, Romania, and other Eastern European states. We kind of thought that before, but the tourist
they have to move somewhere. They have to move somehow. I mean,
absolutely.
It's important now, no?
Oh, well, yes, totally. But I think he's saying also that he plans to reboot the tourist sector by the 15th of June and allow foreign tourists into Greece by the 1st of July. That's at least the plan. It's rumoured that the EU will allow travel by air if sufficient containment measures are in place. For instance, physical distancing can be maintained throughout the whole journey. Just the key points, yes, not just little bits of it. Also, something called PCR tests would be conducted 72 hours before departure. That's currently being discussed at the moment. And EU saying that countries are advised to open borders to countries with similar coronavirus risk profiles. That's the theory there. Just to put all this into context, to the EU, tourism represents 10% of the EU economic output. It employs 27 million people, which is 12% of the employment totals. And the UN World Travel Organization reckons that in 2020 there'll be a total loss of business to the tune of $450 billion. That's 362 billion pounds. That's a terrific loss. That's their estimate from the United Nations World Tourist Organization.
Wow.
Unbelievable, isn't it, really?
That's a lot, yeah. When you look at that, that's really a lot. I mean, let me say hello quickly. We got more in Jerry D saying hello, everybody. Sunny here today, and this is from lovely Donegal.
Oh, beautiful.
Anthony is saying cooking and watching the show, it's difficult.
It's yes, watch those eggs if you're doing eggs. Be careful.
Keep it coming. And Whale Nasir is saying glad to join you. Hello everybody from Luxor,
exactly,
Egypt.
Wales.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in.
Wales, a champion that I know personally. Hello, Wales, and all your wonderful extended family. Luxor, which used to be called Thebes or Theba, is the most amazing place, other than Corfu and Greece, of course. It really is extraordinary. Thousands upon thousands of years of civilization. And Karnak Temple is still, to this moment, Thomas, the most extraordinary archaeological site I have ever seen.
You keep saying. You spoke a couple of times about it.
It blew my mind. I don't know how many times. It's incredible. Full of pillars and obelisks, where the obelisk came from, apparently, about 7,000 years ago. Queen Nefertiti, I think, devised the idea of an obelisk. And as you know, they're all around the world today. But there's something extra special about Karnak. Karnak's about 2 or 3 kilometers outside of Luxor. Luxor has its own temple, which is like a mini version of Karnak, right on the banks of the River Nile. It's some place, I can tell you. So hello, Whale, and all your family. In fact, everybody in Egypt. It's always great to have you on board. Welcome to Lockdown SK. And by all means, please write into the programme, or if you're feeling brave, give us a call on Skype, because it'd be great to hear your Egyptian voices and tell us what it's like where you are, because frankly, we're not too sure. So I hope things aren't too bad for you during this terrible coronavirus pandemic. Let's hope so, Thomas?
Yes, definitely. And let me go in to some pictures while we're just talking this thing. Okay, but that's not what I wanted to call up. I apologize. Let's go over here. About that one we talk in a minute. But that's what we get set in. Why we're talking about the tourism now here on Corfu. And Anthony is sending us this in. That's what you can book now in Holland. And that's from the 1st of June. It's 8 days logging for 2 persons. And that's per person 499 euros. And that's at the Villa Mattel. So
that's not too bad.
It's not too bad when you look at the prices for holidays to come here. It's actually quite good. But it is, you can book that. No, that's now ready to book. And doesn't, somehow doesn't fit in of what we said, they start organizing it themselves now. It's a little bit strange. I think it's
it is. It's all a bit of a hotchpotch at the moment, quite frankly. We're still not there with final decisions. I think there's still a lot of negotiations going on behind the scene. We keep hearing this line, providing suitable measures are in place. We know what they are, those suitable measures. It's a question of who's going to make that decision and when. That's what we don't know yet.
That's the next question. But it is really confusing as well, coming out from everywhere. I got a couple of other things then in a minute that we go through, but I just want to say hello to Robert James. He's saying, listening from windy Hampshire.
Hampshire's a beautiful county.
Steve Ford is writing and he's saying, hi guys, London buses packed this morning, no social distancing, and very few face masks. Crazy Cockneys.
Well, I can't boast of being a Cockney. To be a Cockney, you have to be born in the sound of Bow Bells. That's not me. I was over the north of London. But yes, you're quite right, Steve. Great to have you on board. I hope you and Anne and all your family are well. Yes, we keep hearing terrible stories about London transport. But here's another thing. Sticking with London, actually, did you hear, Thomas and everyone else, the tragic murder of this lovely, jolly lady who worked at Network Rail's Victoria Station?
Yes.
She was murdered by someone with COVID-19 who coughed on her. And she was dead within 4 days. This is absolutely tragic. And we say again to these deniers, these people who simply refuse to believe that COVID-19 exists, well, go and ask her family. She's left behind an 11-year-old daughter. And she looked in the pictures are right across the UK front pages of the newspapers today, aren't they? She looks a really jolly lady. And she was only doing her job to the best of her ability.
Exactly.
You know, this is just really terrible, isn't it?
And especially when you know you got COVID and then you do that. Yeah. I mean, come on. That's a little bit...
That used to be the case with AIDS, didn't it? And
exactly. There were the same things going on. There's a phase of that where people really attacked healthy people because they were probably angry. They had it. You know?
Okay, but so it's not anyone else's fault, really.
No,
is
of course
it? It's not an innocent
but,
person going about their daily duties for their job. I mean, she's there to help passengers. She doesn't expect to go to work and be coughed over and then end up dying 4 days later. That's just absolutely blooming tragedy. I can't put words to describe it, absolutely. But I just keep ramming home the point that we won't hear, except on Lockdown SK, that COVID-19 doesn't exist, that it's some sort of media conspiracy. Because believe you me, it is not.
Yeah, definitely not. No, you would totally hear here, there. And let me say quickly, Robert James saying, hi, Robert. I wish I was on Corfu.
We do too, Robert.
We wish you would be here.
When you can, great. Make sure you say hello to us. It's always good to put a face to all our viewers and listeners.
Yes, and a big hello to Jill Saban. She says, great watching from the UK. Thank you very much for logging on. So, and the comments are coming, mate. It's great, and there's a lot of things in there. Yeah.
Don't hold back, ladies and gentlemen. Just let us have it.
Yeah.
With both barrels, we don't mind. We can take it.
And here, wait, go. I have a lot of things. I have so many things to do, mate. It's unbelievable.
Just take it. Nice deep breath.
I know it's great, but I love it. Thank you, guys. You keeping me, informed here. It's brilliant. Let me go over and say,
you do, guys. You do.
Sarah Roseman, lots of traffic today on the roads,
right.
And 30 or so kite surfers on the beach. There will definitely be a second wave. So,
well, we keep getting warned about this, don't we? And when I've seen the pictures, like many of you have, of crowded buses, tube trains, and station concourses, and all the rest of it, I mean, there's no social distancing. To be honest, on a bus or a tube train, a London Underground, how can you maintain safe social distance?
But
that's incredibly difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why he said, go out, but don't go out. No, use public transport,
but don't. No.
So, I mean, it's crystal clear, man. You don't get in?
Well, I'll tell you what, the most clearest thing that anyone said that I've heard is Matt Lucas's parody of Boris Johnson is absolutely superb. I hope he gets an award for his comic performance. And, I heard that it was banned temporarily on Facebook, which is absolutely outrageous because that is pure satire, and British are very good at that.
Fantastic. That's
British sense of humour. And, the world is a poorer place for there not being so much satire. Do you remember Spitting Image, for instance? I remember back in the day that Tony Blair was most put out, and I think he banned it. He wouldn't have it. He didn't like people taking the mickey out of him. Well, when you put yourself up for such high elevated public office, I'm afraid it goes with the job. You've got to have the rough with the smooth. You can't expect other people to just take everything as it is and not have a dig at you. Blimey. If you do, you're in cloud cuckoo land, quite frankly, I think.
Yeah, I mean, hey, now, thanks, guys. I'm getting so many messages in. I'm getting left, right, and center messages in. That's so great because most of the things you're writing now, we're going to talk about in a minute or two. So it's quite, let's go over when we look at the headlines.
Yes,
we had to look
at
these headlines earlier. I think that's very funny.
Well, it's extraordinary. Same newspaper group, virtually the same paper, one for north of the border in Scotland and one for the south for England, and you can see they're split down the middle of a line, which I think is like a representative of actually how it is on the ground in the United Kingdom, split two ways. Scotland, of course, Nicola Sturgeon is very anxious about easing lockdown too soon. She keeps reminding us that Scotland hasn't actually received its peak yet. They were a bit behind England and other countries for that one, so she's not very keen on a mass return to work, whereas Boris Johnson, I don't know whether he is or whether he's not. I'm not 100% certain. Obviously, he's under enormous pressure to get as many people back to work, and we can understand that. And it's a very difficult call being a prime minister to make.
Yeah,
we appreciate that. But surely he gives more clarity.
Yeah, let me throw that in before we switch over. But Christopher Damana says, yet the UK government are talking about a public sector pay freeze after this. The chamber, I mean, public sector pay freeze. This is the NHS is falling into that one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely. Although there is stories that they are going to have a slight reward. I really hope they do, and they certainly deserve one. But the rumour is to pay for the extra furlough that's costing the UK government £80 billion just for this extension to October. To pay for that, they're talking about raising income tax, would you believe, and a 2-year freeze on all public sector workers.
Wow. Okay, good. That's something. But, just the two different headlines here, Scottish Daily Mail and the Daily Mail. It's quite shocking. When you look both there, I think the country is going to split up if it goes that rate.
It's like a metaphor for it, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
That page you got on there. Two other things to point out. Don't be confused. The word, they've been a bit naughty there, putting the word Branson in a top headline. That is not Richard Branson. It's about his brother. And as you can see, Adele, her new slim self. I think, Thomas, she lost 8 stone or something like that, I remember reading. I'm not sure about that, but I think it's a serious loss of weight there.
That's a serious loss, definitely. Yeah. Let me go over to something more happy, and that is, what, because we all have to wear masks now. And who is who now, everything. Yeah, but I think that's a great solution we got over here. I mean, modern problems need modern solutions, no? And I think we're going to all run around with T-shirts like that in future if we have to put it all on mandatory. So it's quite funny,
That is very funny. That's great. Well done, Steve, whoever that Steve is.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box. Marvellous.
Definitely. And the other one, what made me smile a little bit today, look over here. We are all allowed back to work. But you got to remember 2 things, yeah? Avoid man, no? M for mouse, E for eyes, and N for nose. Instead, follow women.
Well, of course.
W for wash your hands, O for obey social distancing, M for mask up, E, exercise and eat well, and N, no unnecessary traveling. I think that's great.
It is. Not only is it it's quite intelligent, isn't it? But it's very witty indeed. So avoid men and follow women instead. Very good indeed. I wonder who devised that. Great that is, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's very funny and very witty. And see, that's the stuff what comes out now. It's not all dark at the moment.
Well, we've said at the very beginning it was hard to know what exact tone to take with Lockdown SK through this terrible pandemic, the worst definitely since 1918, the Spanish flu, so-called, but it wasn't actually from Spain, so that's a misnomer. But we wanted to strike a balance. We can't be all doom and gloom. At the same time, we can't be too light and frivolous, because it is such a serious thing from so many people. So many people have died, lost their lives needlessly, you could say, possibly. And we have to get the right tone, and we don't always get it right. So if we don't, just let us know,
Exactly. That's all the messaging. That's the emails here. If there's something, just let us know. Inbox at StudioKerkyra.com, or comment now here live. We big boys, we can take it. And you know what? Yeah, of course. Definitely. But there's a big hello from Brigitte from Austria. Hello from a cold and rainy Austria. And she writes in German, in Austrian, Hallo Burschen, means hello boys. So, hello Brigitte, danke für
How kind of you. I wish I was. I think I'm a bit of an old man, but that's very nice of you, Brigitte. I know you have written into the program before, so we love welcoming all viewers from Austria, obviously Thomas's home country. So it's nice for him to have the Austrian connection.
Of course, definitely. Herzlichen Dank, und wir werden euch ein wenig Sonnenschein natürlich nach Österreich schicken. So
that sounded impressive.
Yeah, man. One way or another, it's so beautiful, and I love the English language, as you know. I really love it, and living in England for so many years, I indulged in the literature, I indulged in theater and everything. And for me, I feel very privileged as an Austrian to be able to have done that.
That's great.
Because
not
it's
that
fantastic.
many do, I suppose. Actually.
No, and this is.
And you met some wonderful, interesting,
great,
dare I say,
very
people,
privileged, very privileged, man. And England is really, really close to my heart. There's no question.
Good
No,
one.
always has been, always will be.
Well, I have to say, I've not been to Austria yet, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know one of our viewers wrote in the other day saying that Austria was one of the most beautiful countries in Europe. I'm sure it is. I just haven't had the chance to indulge.
Yeah, we're gonna make a road trip together, and I
That
show you a
would
little bit
be
around
brilliant.
this beautiful country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned about
Okay.
these lakes and the mountains.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
we
I'm
got.
keen
Yeah,
to look at.
it's all, you know. And I think Austria, most they are famous for is for the sound of music. You know, that's where the
Yes,
dreams of
of
people come.
course,
When you look at
yeah.
that footage,
I
it's
forgot
it's
about that.
unbelievable.
You're right,
Yeah,
yes.
sound of music, man.
I mean, Salzburg, Mozart, the home of Mozart, birthplace. I mean, I'd like to go there, to be honest. And Vienna, of course, you know. It's supposed to be the home of international spies, for instance, isn't it? And so many international organisations as well. Yeah, Third Man was set there. Great film.
Hey, let's go on, because I got here now the things about the hotel association organizations, how they, and that is the plan now from TUI. TUI presents 10-point plan for hotel operations post coronavirus. Yeah, but at the same time they reinventing tourism, so they say. But because they're reinventing, they have to let around 8,000 people go. Yeah.
Oh, yes, job losses, 8,000 job losses. And also, today I read they've received a loan from the German government of 1.8 billion euros. I do stress it's a loan. But if the biggest tour operator in the world, which TUI is, has to get a loan from the German government of that magnitude, we know that it's serious trouble for these people.
Definitely. Here, let me go through. This is the 10-point plan. I found it online. And so the first is hotel organization. No, so first is online check-in.
Right.
Yeah? Holidaymakers can make check-in contactless at many hotels by checking in online via the hotel's website or via their smartphone. The second is distancing rule. In public areas such as in the restaurants, corridors or gyms, all employees are required to keep a distance of 1.5 meters or 2 meters to 2 meters between them and the guests. For example, tables in restaurants will be cleaned when guests have vacated them. So that's interesting. Then the personal planning. Staff will work together in fixed terms in order to reconstruct possible infection chains. So that's the first for hotel organizations. Then the second we go in is capacity adjustments in restaurants to limit the number of guests. In restaurants, tables will be set up at a minimum distance of 1.5 meters apart. Then the extensions of opening hours in order to provide sufficient space for all guests. The opening hours of restaurants and other hotel facilities will be extended. What makes totally sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then 6 is entertainment and activities. Only when sport and entertainment involves a small number of participants and without close contact will be made available. Golf or tennis, for example, can take place, but football tournaments cannot. The spa offer will be adapted, and childcare will be organized according to the new standards in line with the requirements of the destination and guests' countries of origin.
Right.
Yeah? Then they go big on hygiene in disinfection and extensive training program by independent auditors. Yeah, and that's what they gonna throw in the rules. 10 plan rules.
Did you say auditors?
Auditors, yeah.
What do they got to do with anything?
I have no idea, man. It's written like that.
The funny thing is, when if you're running a business and you hear the dreaded word auditor, you go, it's the last word you want to hear. So I don't know whether you want a set of auditors with you on holiday. I'm not sure about that one. But,
it's the training program. They have to retrain their staff in the hotel, so they get independent ones in there to take over this training and regulate it and make sure they understand what they're doing. It's the new rules, and that's all within the distancing. But, this is the first concrete thing we heard.
Yes.
Nothing before, not even the governments laid anything out like that.
No.
When you look at the 10-point thing of Boris, and when you look at the 10-point thing now at TUI, I'm getting much more information out there what I got in the last press conference in London.
That's interesting, isn't it? The early part of what you were reading out chimes with what we were reading out about the airlines and how once they start international flights, how you're going to have to book online, get your boarding pass downloaded on your smartphone. Very similar procedure there, isn't it?
Yeah, and yesterday press conference they talked about this downloading of apps from the smartphone
right, yeah.
regarding the Isle of Wight, because people were afraid of the data usage. What do they
Yes.
see in my phone? What, you know?
Well, that's a good point.
It's a big question, but they assured them that it's not downloading any of their personal information, only the location service where they are.
Yes,
So,
okay, but we'll just repeat on that one. Isle of Wight is on trial with the UK app that we're talking about, contact tracing app. There are two out there. There's the one that the UK we're talking about at the moment. Just to put it into perspective, the last figures I saw, which was, I think, yesterday, 50,000 or so people on the Isle of Wight have downloaded the app out of a population of 150,000 plus. So it's about a third.
Yeah.
But here's the important thing. To the government to make it any worthwhile and get good figures so they can work with the figures, they need anywhere between a 40% to 70% uptake of that. The alternative, of course, is the app being developed jointly between Apple and Google, which is the one I think most of the European countries are favouring. And that's because the information there is all kept on your phone, and not like the UK one that we just mentioned, which is centralised.
Yeah,
yes, and
I think this is clouded. Exactly.
Yes,
I think this is where the people are not sure. Should I download it? I don't want to. I don't want to be targeted, and then all this information, all this data is getting
you can't blame
lost.
them, really.
No, of course not.
No, well, as I say, it's on trial. So maybe another few more days we'll get the answers to which one the United Kingdom are eventually going to go for. I do know that as of yesterday, the UK are also testing out the other app that I've just mentioned, Apple and Google one. So maybe next week we might have an answer on that. You never know. If we're lucky, I'll touch wood.
Yeah, I mean, touch wood, yeah. No, it is, but it's not the only country who's rolling these apps out. All the countries are doing it,
Europe.
even in Greece.
For sure.
I heard in Greece there's something. So if one of our viewers, our Greek viewers, can enlighten us of what's going on with the Greek app, because I tried, somebody told me, yes, it is here.
Okay.
But I can't find it. I can find no evidence or reference to any of the apps. I would like to know more. So if you guys here know the answer, please let us know via email, inbox@studiokerkyra.com, or send us a comment now. That would be great.
Yes, it would. Please keep those comments coming. We absolutely love. In actual fact, we get a buzz when we get a live comment from your good selves. You can always message us in after the program, or indeed an email if you want to be anonymous at inbox@StudioKerkyra.com.
And here I'm having a hello from Adam James.
Hi,
Mr.
Adam.
Start, he said hello from Rock, home of the Happy Horses.
Yes,
I love that.
Adam and Rachel. We've got a lovely partner there in Rachel Brooks. Superb people. If you want your horses looked after, they are the people for you. If you happen to be in Worcestershire, that is. Welcome to the programme, one and all, of course. So, what are we off to next then, Thomas?
I'm just looking here because I got here a little bit of a travel update. I just looked from Athens, according to Civil Protection Deputy Minister Nicholas Haradalias. The only exception will be Crete, which will be open up again on the 18th of May, where they said they want to open up the travel to the islands on the 25th of May. What, by the way, still has to be confirmed in next week's meeting. And now I got over here and said, yes, no, they're going to do that on the 18th of May for Crete. So it's all changing in the at the moment. Right? They said at first Rhodes, Crete, Santorini, Zakynthos, and Corfu on the 25th of this month. That's what they did. Now Crete is opening 18th, allegedly, but it has to be confirmed from in the meeting next week in the Parliament.
Indeed, you never know, it might be different then as well. Things do seem to change on an almost daily basis. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
It is, and I think this is the confusion what takes part, because we still don't know how it's going to be with the travel now. We know they're going to open up from the 1st of June. So, Anthony, thank you for that booking thing. He showed us 488 499 euros per person, 8 days here on the lovely holiday island of Corfu in a fantastic villa. And you know,
it looked good, didn't it?
It looks good. It looks nice. Have you seen the swimming pool? That's it. Per person.
Couldn't miss it, really,
8 days, 499. That's
not bad at all.
Not bad at all, and that's not a lot different what they offered last year.
No, that's true. And we were expecting at the beginning of our broadcasting of Lockdown SK that prices would be going through the roof. But actually, that's good to hear. Mind you, we still don't know where we are with these medical certificates or indeed tests. Let's hope the costs of the test is not an extra added on surcharge to your holiday. Let's hope they are free. We're certainly going to have to take them anyway. Temperature tests and all the rest of it.
I'm just looking. I'm getting much more messages in. But yeah, the temperature test. What is now required to arrive in Greece from another country?
We're not 100% sure.
Not 100% sure, by the way.
No.
They said first something about 14 days quarantine. Then they put that down and they said, no, you need a valid test, not taken so within the 72 hours of you traveling. You need a test done. Yeah? With these papers, you can arrive here and then you can go in the rent-a-car. But what I heard, no more than 3 people.
Oh, what, in a rental car?
In a rental car.
Really?
So, yes, that's what I heard on one side.
Good.
Then you can go to the to your place where you make holiday, if it's a holiday apartment, a villa or a hotel complex, and you check in, but it's all done via smartphone. So they're pushing you to the smartphone technology.
Absolutely, yes.
But
we've noticed
it's
that.
It's also on the buses. They think the travel gonna be a little bit longer to your resort, but not by much, because they cannot use the full capacity within the bus to transfer you.
These are transfers.
Yeah. So it's a lot of factors we have to consider in that.
There are a lot of private operators running businesses as couriers, travelers for buses, as it were. So it's not just the big coaches. There are a wide variety of limousines and luxury vans. So maybe the smaller firms might actually benefit from that. Let's hope so. Obviously, we want tourists to come back here, providing it is safe for them to do so, and hopefully us to remain safe as well. So there must be some measures in place, and that's what we read out earlier on in the show. The EU will be insisting. They aren't still negotiating and thinking about this. No firm decisions from the EU regarding international travel have emerged as yet. But I do think there are meetings going on today on the very subject.
Yeah, constantly. But, it would be great if we get any guidelines thrown at us. Here, the Risa is writing in, the Greek app is called the grandmother app. It's by the locals Yayas. It's by the locals called Yayas. Excuse the spelling. Don't worry about that. There is to report everyone's movement. So there we go. That is an app you download. What records everybody's movement. So they know they know constantly where you are.
Talk about Big Brother.
But in a situation like that, is it justifiable to do that? I think, at the moment, yes.
Maybe it is. I mean, there's always for and against. What about the asymptomatic cases, though? Is the technology there to reveal, you're in a crowd of people, your contact tracing app is screaming at you, but is it screaming at you because of known COVID-19 cases walking around you, or is it clever enough to detect the ones that are asymptomatic?
See, this is the access.
A major problem.
Yeah, this is the access within the app, what you allowed. So this app gonna ask you to use your location service. So your location service has to be switched on probably to use this app. I don't know if they can do this via the mobile phone or via the Cosmodee Wind Vodafone or what. If they can do this through your telephone connection. But if you download the app, you normally have to enable, yes, you're allowed to trace my location. But pictures and other things, I wouldn't worry, because normally the app is asking you, are you allowing me access to your camera and microphone?
Okay.
Yeah, in this thing. So I think these apps are just constructed to get your location service, and you allow to get push notifications sent, if I'm right. But that's what I'm trying to find out. So I'm eager to get my hands on one of these apps and pick it apart and see what it actually does.
And when you do that, Thomas, we will give the viewers a good full report. You'll put it through its paces, no doubt, knowing you.
Oh yeah, we have to try everything. So it's important because there's so many questions open. It's now traceability. They trace you everywhere. Some people think that's a
lot of people have a problem with
rights.
Yes, a lot of people do have a serious problem by it, and it's not just those that haven't got anything to hide. I mean, obviously, if you're doing something nefarious or that you shouldn't be doing, yes, of course, you wouldn't want to be traced. But there are a large numbers of people who are genuine law-abiding citizens that just don't like the idea of Big Brother knowing exactly where they are at any minute of the day. Maybe they've got other things in their private lives to consider as well.
Yeah, definitely. And here is a message in. Thank you very much from Stuart Maroon. He's saying on the BBC News today, they were saying there will be no big lavish holidays this year. But if we do go on holiday and we have to go into isolation for 2 weeks when we come back home, and a lot of people that work would not be able to do that.
Exactly.
If we come to Corfu, we would need to isolate there. Also, that means we may not see any of the Greek islands.
Exactly. You wouldn't have a holiday at all. You'd spend your whole time in quarantine. That's just ludicrous, isn't it? But we've been warning about this.
Can brand it as adventure holidays or something.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know about that. But what we don't understand is why are they so hesitant in the United Kingdom to make this decision? They've made decisions on lots of other things, even though they're a bit confused. But this is quite an important announcement. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, mentioned it about 2 weeks ago now. They were considering this 14-day quarantine for all international arrivals, including British citizens, when they return back to British soil, as it were, with the exception of the good people of France, and bonjour to all of our French-speaking viewers, and the Republic of Ireland. And a very warm welcome to everybody on that beautiful Emerald Isle.
Yeah, and there is a time when I said, "Oh, guys, this was in the app. This was a joke." I thought so. I wasn't sure when I was reading. It was just a good joke. But it's a great one. Thank you. Like I wasn't sure when I read it. I said, "Really?" But you know, when you're live on show, when you read that live, you can't.
I'll have a peruse on that one later, Teresa, when I'm a bit more relaxed and in the zone of doing so.
But a good one. Loving it. Thanks, Teresa.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for making us laugh.
I was thinking that at the moment I was reading it, but I wasn't sure.
Right. Well, good job. Caution is always a good one, isn't it? Eh?
But great. No,
it proves that we're live, that's for sure, doesn't it, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot more messages coming. Thanks, guys, for logging on and taking part in such numbers. It's great. I mean, that's exactly what we're here for. And if you have a question regarding the current situation with lockdown or regarding this beautiful holiday island of Corfu, don't hesitate. Just ask away. Send us a comment here live now, or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra. And the same goes for any shout-outs you want to do here to people you miss on this beautiful island of Corfu.
Absolutely. And as we're episode 55 now of Lockdown SK, one thing I forgot to say in the convoluted introduction was that we absolutely would love you, if you feel inclined, of course, to share this broadcast with all your friends. I've noticed that many of you are, and we really do appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, and it's getting hot here in there. Is it that the temperature is picking up? It's great. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's good. It's slightly muggy, perhaps, but I don't know, Thomas, have you noticed in the mornings now we've had a strange haze? I've seen a strange haze over the sea. Not quite sure what that's all about.
Oh, no, that's just the humidity here. And that's why in Halikunas, when we look at Halikunas here, it's always the humidity. That's famous here. When you come late at night in the summer, especially you drive around 11, 12 o'clock at night into Halikunas, you have this haze. You see the moisture in the air, literally. And it's great. But out there, that's all now building. It's getting warmer very, very quick, and I think that's what you see out the sea is this
maybe
things.
I certainly 2 mornings running there's been a haze. I haven't been able to see much of the sea, actually. Half the Mediterranean disappeared under haze.
Oh yeah, that can happen, but it's now, it's heating up, the earth's getting warmer and warmer and releasing its water stored in there. But you know what, it's fantastic when I just look out there and the oranges are going well. Everything comes back, because beginning of the season it was a little bit funny. We got an avocado tree in the garden, and normally they're coming up now, and all of a sudden it was shedding its leaves.
Oh no, that's a sign of dehydration, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is all right. We water it, and it just is. Even nature here got a little bit confused about what's happened in the last couple of months.
Well, nature's confused. We're certainly all confused, or as Nicholas likes to say in London, Corfused. We're still laughing about that one, Nico. Thanks very much. Oh, by the way, Thomas, did you hear anything about cricket? There's a little news story about cricket in the United Kingdom. They're not expected to start cricket before the 1st of July. And they're thinking about just 2 sites, Old Trafford, there in wonderful Manchester, and Southampton. And the reason for that is both those cricket fields, famous as they are, have got hotels right attached next to them, so they can do all the self-isolation and all the correct preparation. So that might actually be a goer. Of course, there'll be closed stadiums, no public visitors, I'm afraid. One of the leading English fast bowlers, forget his name, I know Nico will remind me, Archer, I do believe, he is suggesting that they play recorded oohs and ahs in the stadium and clapping on recorded devices to help the players. I suppose that's a good idea, really. At least for the viewers who are watching and hearing that classic sound of the ball and the bat,
that is good.
It makes
I
it right,
can't
doesn't
wait.
it? Yeah.
I can't wait.
And it wouldn't be
especially
quite
here
right
now.
without those oohs and ahs and all the crowd
Oh.
noise. One thing, though, that does come to mind, and I know Nico will tell me the name of the gentleman. Unfortunately, he's retired now. There was a guy that went round for 30 years to every England cricket match, the Barmy Army, whatever, and he played was it a saxophone or a trumpet? Trumpet, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he became really quite famous, but unfortunately he's hung up his trumpet for this season. Maybe he'll make an appearance next year. Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Now I'm all eager for the cricket season to start, especially here on the lovely island of Corfu, and this all to do in the connection with the Corfu Literary Festival. When you go on to cricketcorfu.com,
right,
you can find out more. And we have one of the oldest pitches, cricket pitches here on the island.
First game at Spinada by the Liston, between the Liston and the Old Fort Citadel. First match there was played in 1823, would you believe?
Wow, 1823.
Yes, between a British Army garrison who was stationed here at the time and a Royal Naval ship that was passing by. And you'll be pleased to know the match ended in a draw. I'm pleased about that, actually. It's a good job that it was a draw, wasn't it, in a way? But we enjoyed our Sunday afternoon broadcast last year from the Spinada between a Corfu local team and, what was it now, the team? It wasn't Orphers 11, was it?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it was the also 11, of course. They were playing here. We have to look back onto the thing, but I think they had to go with it. Were an English team and the local cricket team from Corfu when
it was an English team, yes.
English and the local cricket team, the Corfu cricket team.
Yes, the Corfu
cricket team. But they also split them down at
another
Guvia.
time. Yes, but the one that we were commentating on was not the Orphers 11. It was another team from England, wasn't it?
English team and the cricket team. I have no idea, but I think Nikos let us know about it.
Will,
definitely. Let me say hello. Patricia Webster is saying regarding the clouds you saw. She said that's the start of descent from the Sahara, and she's totally right. Thank you. I forgot about that.
I knew there was something. Thank you very much. You see how worthwhile our audience is. Thank you so much indeed. We don't know much anyway. You know that by now. But for the intelligence and the communication from our wonderful audience through that wonderful magical word collaboration, you see, we all get better off, don't we? Furnished with knowledge. And it is only when you've got good knowledge that you can make the right, correct decisions. It's no good just shooting off on a decision without the correct information in. No.
Yeah, but thanks, here you're getting, and there's our cricket guru Steve Ford is saying, Jofra Archer, Adrian.
Jeffrey Archer. Oh, no, the bowler.
The bowler.
Yes, thank
Jofra
you,
Archer.
Steve. Yes,
and
gotcha.
Steve Bowd, Adrian, Bill Cooper, the cricket trumpeter.
Great answers to our viewers. Thank you so much. I couldn't remember the gentleman's name. Thank you ever so much indeed for that. Yes, he was well known, wasn't he, and followed, and he became quite a feature for all those games from England. He travelled all around the world with them. Mr. Archer, that's right, I remember now. Thank you very much indeed. You see how on the ball our viewers are?
I know,
Thomas?
And that's why I said to you, we're fantastic, and thank you so much, guys, for taking part and letting us know. Here I got another message quickly. It's from John White. He is saying, missing our visit to Arillas. Please say a big hello to all the Auntie's family at the Rainbow in Arillas. Love them all. So, Auntie's family at the Rainbow in Arillas, a big hello from John White to you.
Consider it done, John. Thank you very much. And isn't it wonderful we can have this two-way exchange of greetings and messages of love from the beautiful island of Corfu to everybody around the world that is touched in some way by this island. And once here, you never forget the place. And all the people from around the world who have got either friends or relatives on this island. It's great that we, as a digital platform here, Lockdown SK, can facilitate in this exchange. It's collaboration.
It's fantastic. Its purest, and that's
isn't it?
Pure collaboration. And that's why I said, without you guys, we couldn't do what we do, and we love what we're doing, especially we can do it on this beautiful island of Corfu. I mean, how lucky are we here?
We are extremely lucky when we never forget about that, by the way. No, it couldn't be a better place to be broadcasting from, actually. Of course, it's not the ideal time with the coronavirus pandemic going on. Just a quick thought before I forget to mention, Thomas, one country that's bucked the trend of all this lockdown easing and all that is Lebanon. And we don't mention Lebanon a lot.
Yes, you said earlier something very interesting.
Lebanon hasn't got that enormous amount of cases. Off the top of my head, I think it's 850 something and 20 something deaths. Obviously, every death is too much, but they've had a recent spike in cases by a few tens, and so much so they got so worried that they've completely reimposed lockdown. So there's no respite for the good people of Lebanon. It just shows you some countries get the wind up them, as it were, when they've thought of a spike in cases. I mean, South Korea, I think, is going to have to do some serious thinking here, because there's still a number of cases going up from those 5 nightclubs that we mentioned a couple of days ago.
And in Germany, sadly
it's
enough,
now 1.1, the R figure, isn't it?
Exactly, another oops, but it is, they're seeing a quick increase in new cases now over the last couple of days, and that's very concerning. So they are asking themselves, did we release that too quick? And of course, and many were warning, especially the WHO was warning about don't do that, stick a little bit longer with it. But it's easy to say for an organization when they don't have to support financially millions of their people. That's another, everything.
I agree with that, but there's a counter argument to that. The gentleman who runs the industry body in the United Kingdom, responsible for all estate agents and letting agents and conveyancers and all that, anything to do with the housing market, basically, because you may remember that Prime Minister Boris Johnson has now, Robert Jenrick, I think is the man's name, the Community Secretary's bloke, housing minister, as it were. He's now given the go-ahead for people to buy and sell houses. But the industry body chief has expressed a little bit of doubt and consternation at that. He's saying he didn't expect it for at least another month away. And here's a really interesting point. If you're only allowed to meet one other person per day that is not of your designated family or group, how are you going to show any more than one person a day around a property? That's a good question. How is that going to work?
How is that exactly? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, we've been looking at a house today, as example. We've been looking, and she kept that distance. But what I understand, because if it's that house, everybody goes through. So actually, after every visit, after every viewing, they need to disinfect the whole house just to get the next view. The next person in viewing.
So it is
exactly. But we have the digital technology. We in the age,
virtual tours of
virtual tours of the property. That's all now. Through that social distancing, this technology comes into its own field. Now people realize how important it is to embrace the new technology we have. Where some, they're still out there saying, no, I don't want it, I carry on. No, it can be such a fantastic part of your life if you just use it right,
Oh, absolutely. Let's say it's a great compliment. I am always worrying about putting all your eggs in one basket, and certainly all your eggs in one electronic device. If you have as much ill luck as I have had over the years with electronic devices, that's why I still write with pen and paper, to be quite honest, because at least you've always got a record that won't disappear somewhere, and it won't be hacked either. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's the next thing. I'm getting more in. You got your other question answered from our lovely Steve Ford. He said cricket on listen was Atlas Corfu versus Emperor's London. Exactly. That's the one.
Steve, you're fantastic. Thank you very much. I couldn't remember. Emperors, that's the one. Yes. I can't remember the score, though, either of that one. Was it a draw?
I think it's for a draw.
I'm going to hedge my bets and say it was a draw.
Yeah, a draw. Let's be the draw, man. But Sally Roberts is writing in and said, looks like here in the UK, we go back to the government's idea of herd immunity, which is more like survival of the fittest. Herd immunity involves a vaccine to be effective. So,
yes, and we're not there yet with vaccinations. In fact, we're not even there with treatments yet. They're still working on it. I know there's something interesting going on in Israel about treatments, and indeed Italy as well.
Oh, I didn't know that one. So Italy
are testing on mice. I can't remember all the details. I do have them to my left-hand side, but I'm not going to get into them now. But they're testing on mice some effective treatment, and Israel is very excited about enzymes, I think it is. I'll get back to you on that one, Thomas, because I do have the notes to my side.
Yeah, and here, great. Stuart is writing in and said a lot of estate agents these days offer a virtual tour of the property, many people can view in one day. That's great. I know they're doing it, but here in Greece, it's not that thing. In England, I believe they're involved with the technology, and it's getting more and more. But countries like Greece now, they're just building up to that.
Yes. Yeah.
But here, when you go, I don't know any estate agent here on the island who has a virtual tour. a proper virtual tour I'm talking about.
Myself.
No.
I mean, look, it's very important to have virtual tours and to see things digitally, but I've got to say, buying a house is the single most important financial decision you're probably going to make, really, in terms of a one-ticket item. And there's nothing beats the naked eye, as it were. You know, you kind of have to really visit the place, to be honest, to make sure you're making the right decision. But you can't be having hundreds of people doing the same thing at the same time. So maybe it's early days. They've only just been given the go-ahead to open up the UK housing market. So let's see how it goes. Of course, like all other markets, it's been absolutely ravaged and castigated, isn't it, really?
Definitely.
Terrible.
And I forgot to say hello to our lovely army in Finland.
Oh.
Hi, army. Sorry, I forgot. It was so much coming in, but it's great.
Army?
I know.
No, we never forget you, Army. You're always in our minds and hearts, don't worry. And, of course, it's a very good Hyvää iltaa to you and all your wonderful Finnish friends.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in Finland. What a country. But, hey, go over here. We're going to keep you now up to date what going on here on Corfu. When the first flights arrive, when the hotel's getting full, we're gonna start moving very, very soon, hence building the second of our mobile live stream studios to really cover this island and give you the latest news. And that's more important than ever before, because we can bring a little bit of light into the whole situation, what's going on, but that we can only do when we're able to move. And we start moving on the 18th of May, where we as media organization are officially allowed to go out, film and broadcast again. So, and I think then things, when we start talking with the hoteliers and other people involved in the tourism industry, we have a cool, brilliant phone calls lined up for this season. We're waiting with the phone calls until we start there, because it makes more sense, and then we can have also some social distancing interviews going on at the same time.
And don't forget, folks, we've got an extendable mic, I think at least 50 meters, so you should be all right. But we'd love to interview live people, don't we? Well, we don't want to interview dead people. What I mean is we want to interview you live, on air. That's what we mean, because don't forget, live is life.
Oh, definitely. And Corfu gonna be presented to you completely different, and we can update. But, you know, for me, that's all. I think you got one more thing.
One more little thing to tax the little grey cells. It was a survey done by Waitrose and the John Lewis Partnership in the United Kingdom, which is a very big multiple retailer, supermarkets and department stores. What's unusual about it is it's a workers' cooperative, which is a great idea in theory. I know they've missed out on their bonus this last year, but not many are workers' cooperatives left these days, so it sort of stands out. But they ran a survey during lockdown as to what were the most popular items sold. And have you any idea what number one was? And that goes out to all our wonderful viewers and listeners. Can you imagine the most popular items sold through Waitrose and John Lewis?
I don't know. You know what if you think, if I think a little bit logically what was in, so, you know, you would, and I think many would say toilet paper.
Well, that's a good guess, because the early days of lockdown, SK, we forever talking about toilet paper or bog roll or whatever you want to call it. Actually, we haven't heard about toilet rolls lately. No, Thomas, sorry to disappoint, it was not.
No, come on.
No, toilet rolls didn't even make the list.
Seriously, no.
I'm seriously telling you the truth.
What is about
number
eggs one? Eggs or flour?
Nope. No.
Oh, come on.
No, they weren't on the list. Number one, this surprised me. Number one is tequila.
No.
I can't believe that either, but that's their survey, and it was a huge survey, tens of thousands of people.
I mean, it makes sense for the disinfectant
and their own
purposes.
Sales figures, I have to say. Yes. Well, maybe. A good one, yes,
disinfect
maybe.
outside and the inside, and you're fine.
Number two, we can probably expect this one, gym kit. Obviously, there was a big rush to get gym kits in. Mail order, I suppose. Didn't have to worry about social distancing. It arrived to your door. Gym kit was number two, yes.
Okay.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
No, it makes perfectly sense when you see for exercise what people post. And that, great. Yeah.
Number three is one that, for theatrical reasons we may need, but as men we don't need, makeup. That was number three.
Makeup?
Makeup, yeah. And number four, this is a funny one, luxury bedding.
What luxury bedding?
I don't know what to say about that either. Luxury bedding was the fourth fastest selling item from John Lewis Partnership and Waitrose.
Wow.
There you go. And number five, well, this is a funny one too, elastic. But you know why.
Elastic,
you know why.
I understand that one, because this is for all the homemade masks the people are wearing. That's a good one. Okay, elastic, I get. But tequila, Wow,
surprised everybody.
Makeup. Surprise.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. Mind you, we could do a little bit of that here at the studio. So if you're a would-be makeup artist, when we've finished with COVID-19 and we can relax social distancing, maybe we can get into some makeup.
Makeup. Yeah, speak for yourself.
Well, I need it caked on my face.
Be
that's
funny.
for sure.
Come on.
Oh, no, I don't know. But after that, the next item were pressure washers. Apparently, everybody was washing their patios and balconies. Pressure washers was the next one down. Number 6.
See, Melita is just saying, okay, I would have said cake mix. That's a good one. Yeah,
absolutely. Me too, Melita, because everybody was into baking. And I know you did some splendid banana bread the other day. I'm sure it was delicious. I can't imagine, but it couldn't have been anything else, could it? But delicious. So baking, everybody was baking something or other, weren't they? In fact, many people got a bit fed up with baking. I think they baked off.
Yeah, there is a tequila because it makes you happy. So
well, yes, I could think of many things that make you happy, but it's just tequila in the United Kingdom. I don't know. Just maybe it's a phase. Maybe everybody when they go out and they get into tequila.
That's funny. That is a good one. Yeah, thank you for that, man. That's great.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? These things, makes it lightens it up a bit.
Definitely,
because we don't want to be talking too doom and gloom here. We've had enough doom and gloom around the world.
So let's concentrate on the positive. But
absolutely.
I'm sad to say the same as every show again. Sorry, this is all we have time for today. Another hour is up, another hour is gone.
How it goes,
I know, it's so quick.
Where does it go? Where do those minutes
run
off to?
See, but I can tell you that when you have company, such a lovely company we have with you guys out there commenting and going in, that's a breeze, that's fantastic, and it lightens up our day, and we hope we lighten up your day. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, logging on, watching us, and commenting with so many comments. Great, that's fantastic. If I forgot anything, I apologize. I will put that in tomorrow's show, but that's all we have time for today. Have a fantastic evening. Enjoy this nice evening wherever you are and be safe. But until tomorrow, have a nice evening. Goodbye, Kalinichta.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe and a very good afternoon to you all.